Steve Sarkisian sat down with the good people at the Pivot Podcast. It's a great show. You got Channing Crowder, Fred Taylor, Ryan Clark. But he said something very interesting for Texas fans. It's circulated on Twitter. The clip's been going around. But here's what he said. It was short and sweet, but he said, it's starting to feel like my team. And he went on to say, I feel like they're starting to act like me. They're starting to take on essentially what I want my team to look like. Now, Texas fans, for good reason, got fired up about this. I would imagine the average reaction from a Texas Longhorn fan upon seeing this clip was good. Good, because right now it should be. We experienced 5-7. We experienced the 8-win season. That was, yes, a step in the right direction, but still not what we expect here at Texas with how much we put into this beast. Good. It should be by year 3. And that's not to be pretentious. That's not to say that you deserve a certain something. Just by nature of having your team under you for that long, good. It should take on your kind of team. It should be your kind of team. And what he's speaking to here, folks, to read between the lines, he's talking about culture. And what has been the concern at Texas for as long as they have been, quote unquote, down? Culture. And everyone said NIL is going to hurt that, transfer portal is going to hurt that. Sounds like they're trending in the right direction. So for Texas to have the right culture, that's been the missing piece, right? That's been the thing that we have just consistently talked about and questioned and analyzed and put under the microscope every single Sunday that we came in here after a Texas game. What's the culture like? The culture was improved from the 5-7 year, but still last year you're watching the second half of games and saying, man, what's going on? I see 2 different Texas teams from half 1 to half 2. What's happening here? Why are we playing so differently just because we went to the locker room? Culture, focus, standards. They're cliches, they're coach speak, but you know why they're coach speak? Because they're true, because they're relevant. And so for Steve Sarkisian to say, you know what, at this point in time, the way that I'm interpreting this, the culture is where he needs it to be. That's exciting. It's exciting because the personnel wasn't the question at Texas. You've recruited really well. You've got the experience offensively. Yes, you lose Bijan Robinson. Yes, you lose Roschon Johnson. But you have a good stable of backs behind him. You got Quinn Ewers at quarterback. You got 10 of 11 starters back on offense. Got some pieces you're excited about on defense. The personnel is to a place where you can win if the culture matches that personnel. And it matches what is needed to be able to win. You can have winning personnel and a losing culture and be in a tough position. And I think Texas has had that the last couple of years. So for Steve Sarkisian to say we got a winning culture now, Texas fans are saying, okay, good. You should by this point in time. But nonetheless, it's encouraging. It's just talk right now, but if nothing else, it's encouraging. Now, you got to give Texas some credit here. You got to give the good people in Austin some credit here because they have been building to a year like this year. I've said it before. I will say it again really quickly, though. Y'all know the deal. We talk college football every single day on this very platform. Texas fans, y'all have been rocking with us. Y'all have been overwhelmingly supportive, so thank you for that. If you haven't yet joined the party, now's the time. We'd love to have you. Also, follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter, @JDPikel. We'd love to hear from y'all there. As I was saying, the good people on the 40 acres that support your Longhorns, win or lose, you've been building to a year like this year. You've been waiting for Steve Sarkisian to give the green light on culture. You went through the 5-7 growing pains. You're frustrated, you're upset, but you're saying, okay, it's year 1. There was issues there before. You win 8 games last year. You're in the Big 12 title race really till the very last game of the season, hoping some things go your way. It doesn't, okay. We'll keep going. The bowl game is what the bowl game is. You have Bijan Robinson, whatever. Not great, but we're looking to next year. You've recruited really well. Had a top 10 class this past season. Much better than top 10 class, but for the sake of having the all-encompassing term, a top 10 class at Texas this past year in the 2023 cycle. Steve Sarkisian is protecting that culture, and they've built to a year like this. And it hasn't been easy. It's had growing pains. And so I think there needs to be some sort of just acknowledgement to the good people in Austin because this is a thing where you expect a lot from that brand. I mean, you see the burnt orange. People throw up the hook 'em. You got Matthew McConaughey in the building for just about every sporting event. Like there's a very visible brand that's at Texas. And when Texas isn't performing and achieving the nature of visibility and resources that are allocated towards Texas, there's room for frustration. That frustration is fair, but the understanding, hey, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. And now to have this teed up for a year like this, they've now put in the work. They've now put in the time to have the expectations they have at Texas. I mean, I was on Inside Texas, the On3 Texas YouTube channel the other day with Bobby Burton, and we were talking about it. He says, is it fair to expect a 10-win season? I said, absolutely. Absolutely. Also, go make sure you're subscribed and have a membership at Inside Texas. But I said, absolutely, because you've been so patient. Quinn Ewers last year went through a lot of growing pains. There's a lot of people out there talking about Arch Manning this, Arch Manning that. Maybe he's the guy. Those of you that are really locked in here, you understand that's probably not the way you want to go. And the reason why you don't want to go that way, you just went through a whole year of growing pains with Quinn Ewers. If you start Arch Manning, you're back to more growing pains. The bottom line is Texas is built to win now, both culture and personnel. This is the year for Texas. And whatever you want to put the year as meaning, I believe the year is you get back to the Big 12 title game. Do you win it? We'll see. That's not a prediction. I'm saying that is what you should expect in terms of what the year means at Texas. Now, here's what I would also say, though. Steve Sarkisian coming out and saying this, I love it because you invite pressure, and pressure is privilege. But if Texas doesn't achieve to the standard that people want them to or expect them to, a lot of people are going to come back to this quote and say, that's Steve Sarkisian's team. Let's say they win 8 games again. That's Steve Sarkisian's team. You're telling me that's what we can expect? That's who you are? Whether it's fair or not, it's now on the record. It is now on YouTube forever. You can go and watch it, and you can go see it, and you can go break it down, analyze it to the nth degree, but that's out there now. And I respect him for saying it, and I think it's a good sign for Texas fans, but I would also just say this. For Texas, they're headed to the SEC soon. This story, I think, for Steve Sarkisian, if you don't achieve what you want to achieve this year, is far from finished. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I have a crystal ball and I'll tell you exactly what Texas does in 2023. We'll probably do our prediction videos, and we'll see those on TikTok and Instagram, and I feel a certain way about those because I think you're trying to predict the future, and so many things happen in the college football season. Neither here nor there. What I'm trying to tell you is this is a good sign. Let's not read into it too much more than that. Your coach is saying the right things. He's very transparent on that podcast, talked about a lot of different things. He's saying the right things. These are good signs. Is it indicative of what the future is going to be at Texas? Is it indicative of a Big 12 title? No. But at the very least, you're controlling what you can control and have the car tuned up just right to where you're going to give yourself the best chance. So it's on record now. People will hold him to that. But to the exact same token, setting up, your process to compete is just that. You're ready to compete. So I'm excited to watch this. I'm very excited to watch this, but it's starting to feel like my team, according to Steve Sarkisian at Texas. That is a good sign. Texas fans, be encouraged. Make sure you're subscribed here. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram at JDPikel. Nick, Break Lifting Heavy. This is y'all's show. We're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.